Mario RPGs have some incredible music. There's not a single game here with a bad soundtrack, and more often than not, these adventures feature some of the best OSTs of their respective generations, so it was extremely difficult to pick the best track in each game when there's just so many great options. With that being said, let's begin with the game that started it all. The first Mario RPG really set the tone for what these soundtracks could be. Released in '96 on the SNES, Super Mario RPG was already impressive visually for its time. Those pseudo 3D graphics felt groundbreaking, but what really made the game special was the soundtrack. Yoko Shimomura composed most of it, and she's one of my all-time favorite video game composers. Like, she didn't just compose this, but also most of the Mario and Luigi series. This music just defines the game. Like, even in those bouncier, playful tracks, there's always just something in the song that gives it just so much personality. Like, I can't even say exactly what it is. But for me, my favorite song has to be Beware the Forest Mushrooms. I know it's the popular choice, but it's the popular choice for a reason. When I think of this game, that's the track that instantly comes to mind. It has this whimsical, looping melody that somehow manages to sound adventurous and a little mysterious at the same time, like you've stumbled into a forest full of secrets. It's not threatening, just curious. The kind of tune that makes you feel like you're about to uncover something magical. People still sing fake lyrics to this decades later, if you know you know, and honestly that says a lot about how iconic it is. I tried to pick something less obvious, but nothing else hits quite the same. Even all these years later, and in the remake, it still sounds great. And as for honorable mentions, we're gonna go with Rose Town, and also the Smithy Battle. Paper Mario on the N64 was one of the best RPGs of that generation. This is also part of one of my favorite series. Compared to other RPGs of its time, it's a cozy, storybook-style game, and the soundtrack captures that mood perfectly. Even the battle themes aren't aggressive or intimidating. They're upbeat and lighthearted like most of the series, and it matches that Mario storybook vibe beautifully. My favorite track here is the main title. I remember when I booted up this game for the first time when I was playing it on Wii, and the song just instantly brought me back, like, I don't know how many years, because I didn't play this game until I was a little older. I think it was around 13 when I first played this, but I remembered hearing the song in a Mario Flash game I played when I was like 5. This is one of the best title themes in the entire Mario series. It's just such an upbeat, positive song. It just lets you know you're in for a great adventure. Like, it just puts me in a good mood whenever I hear it. It's not the most complex song ever, but that's kind of what makes it great. It doesn't need to overwhelm you, it just captures the charm of the whole experience. And as for honorable mentions, gonna go with Welcome to Yoshi's Village, and Shy Guy's Toy Box. Now this one may be my second favorite Mario RPG soundtrack overall. Yoko Shimomura returned for this game, and honestly, she knocked it out of the park. Like, I think this is arguably better than Super Mario RPG. But Superstar Saga is just such a goofy, personality-driven game, and the music completely embraces that. But when it needs to, it can get surprisingly emotional and epic. And my favorite track is going to be the credits theme. After this wild journey through the Bean Bean Kingdom, that ending theme hits just perfectly. It's emotional without being like over the top, and it's kind of like the game itself. The melody kind of just has that satisfying ending feeling, just makes you reflect on everything you've just gone through. As a kid, I love this. Like, I remember beating this game for the first time and hearing the song, so now every time I hear it, it just brings me back to that exact moment. Like, this is the kind of song that just gives you goosebumps. And there's just so many great tracks in this game. Like, to only have a few honorable mentions is really difficult to even narrow it down to that. But I'll go with A New Adventure Begins, Tiki Valley, Battle Theme, and Showdown with Cackletta. Now I know there were a couple more honorable mentions there, but I had to include all of them. If there's one Mario RPG where almost every track sticks with you, it's gotta be the Thousand Year Door. Every location has a theme that perfectly fits its personality, from the pirate vibes of Keel Hall Key to the unsettling tone of Twilight Town. It's like each area is its own little musical world, and together they make one of Nintendo's richest RPG soundtracks. After a lot of thinking, I decided my favorite here is the Dupless Battle theme. It's just so distinct, playful, mischievous, and also a little bit creepy. It fits Dupless perfectly, like it's a trickster villain who's equal parts annoying and iconic. The song starts lighthearted but carries a strange tension under the surface, like something isn't quite right, and that's exactly how the whole chapter feels. Now as for the chapter as a whole, it's not my favorite, but this is definitely the highlight of it. This is probably the track I look forward to the most when playing this game. And as for honorable mentions, going with the main theme, and the battle theme. My opinion, Thousand Year Door doesn't have the highest highs of any Mario RPG, but it has maybe one of the most consistent soundtracks. Partners in Time is kind of the black sheep of the original Mario and Luigi trilogy, but I think that's what makes it so interesting. It's darker, moodier, and more story-driven than Superstar Saga, and the soundtrack totally reflects that shift. There's still that trademark silliness, because, I mean, it is a Mario and Luigi game, but there's still a sense of tension and mystery you usually don't feel in these games, at least not that much. My favorite track here is Swamp Volcano. This one builds such an incredible atmosphere, like you can almost feel the pressure as you descend deeper into the volcano. That constant rhythm gives the impression of something rumbling beneath the surface, and it's intense but not overbearing. And it just nails the feeling perfectly, like I don't know what it is about this. I remember being stuck in this area as a kid, just because I was not leveled up enough to be doing this part of the game at the time, but what sticks with me most is just this track. Now for honorable mentions, I'm gonna go with Boss Battle, and Vim Factory. Vim Factory, it's not my favorite song of all time, I still really love it, but the reason I have it here is just because it just fits its location so perfectly. Alright, now on to my favorite Mario RPG of all time, and one of my favorite video games of all time, and I'll be honest, choosing a favorite track here feels impossible. I'm gonna go on record saying I think this is the best soundtrack in a Mario RPG. You can disagree with me, but this soundtrack is just perfect. It's emotional, weird, funny, epic, just all at once. While there's a lot of funny sounding songs, like a lot of light-hearted tracks, there's also a lot of emotional tunes here that really drive home the story. And as for my favorite song, I'm gonna cheat here and pick two, the Ultimate Show and the end credits theme. It just feels wrong having to choose one of them. The Ultimate Show is easily one of the best final boss themes Nintendo has ever made. It's grand and dramatic, but still feels like Paper Mario. It's kind of got that hint of whimsy even as everything's falling apart. Dementio's transformed Luigi into Mr. L again, and you're fighting for the fate of the universe. It also fits Dementio's character, like it kind of has that circus feel a little bit. Then right after all that chaos, the end credits hit you with this emotional wave. It was really the send-off to one of my favorite games of all time, and it's just a beautiful track. This was one of the first games I played where I really started to appreciate the music. Like, I knew it while playing. Like, a lot of games, I didn't really know it at the time, how much that music would stick with me, but Super Paper Mario, I just love listening to it. And as for honorable mentions, I'm just gonna say the entire soundtrack, but if you want just a couple, I'll go with Flipside and Complex Theme. Even if you don't like Super Paper Mario, because I know it's not everyone's favorite game, just do yourself a favor and at least listen to the soundtrack. Now this is another soundtrack that just absolutely shines. Bowser's Inside Story hits this perfect balance between silly and epic, which makes sense because it's a game where you literally spend half your time inside Bowser's body and other half watching him stomp through kingdoms. My favorite track here was literally the easiest one in the video. Like, I didn't hesitate for a second to choose this. Most of you will probably agree with me. It's in the final. And honestly, this may be one of the best final boss themes in any Mario game. You know what, it might be the best final boss theme in any video game ever made. The build-up is incredible. It starts off tense and focused and keeps layering a new instrument until it just keeps continuing, and Nintendo probably just told Shimomura, just make a good sounding finale track, and then she just did this. Also, I think the DS version's better than the 3DS remake. It just has so much more personality with the DS sound card. Like, there's not really a way to replicate it. Like, yeah, you could look it up on the OST, but just everything from the build-up to the final boss of this great game to just hearing it on the DS, like, that's the only way to get the true experience of this. And for honorable mentions, gonna go with Okie Dokie. And The Wind is Blowing at Cavity Cape. Okay, so we are at Sticker Star now. It's not exactly the most beloved entry in the series. The gameplay changes took away a lot of what made Paper Mario feels like Paper Mario, but you already know that. But if there's one thing that stayed consistently great, it's the music. Even the weaker games in this franchise have some incredible soundtracks, and I think this is one of the weakest soundtracks in the whole Mario RPG series, but even with that, it's still a great soundtrack, because there's literally not one game here that has even a below average soundtrack. For me, the standout is the staff roll. Not only is it the best part because the game is finally over, but it's actually a really fun song to listen to. Like, there's a lot of different parts to it. It's upbeat, catchy, and is a good send-off to what was kind of a frustrating game, but at least it ends well like this, I guess. Like, even if you didn't like Sticker Star, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, which you probably know if you've watched my other videos, it still made me smile at the end. And for honorable mentions, I'm gonna go with the main theme. And the PD Piranha Battle, I think is a really underrated track. Like, I never hear anyone talk about this. Dream Team might have been a bit too long for its own good, but the soundtrack is full of bangers. Like with the previous 3 games in the series, Yoko Shimomura returned again, and you could tell she poured everything into this one once again. It's just packed with energy, emotion, and some seriously great battle tracks. Now, I haven't played this game in a long time, so I had to look up the OST to try to think of what is my favorite, and I'm going with Final Phantasma Battle. The track just goes hard, it's dark and intense, and it has that catchy Shimomura rhythm that makes you want to keep trying no matter how many times you lose. Phantasma as a villain is already pretty unique, like kind of tragic, kind of menacing, and the song gives him the epic treatment he deserves. Is it in the final? No, but there's really no other comparison to in the final. This is still a great final boss theme. Now for the honorable mentions, Never Let Up. And Breezy Mushrise Park. Now here's the oddball of the lineup. You probably didn't even expect this to be in the video, but it technically is a Mario RPG, so it's here. This is just a weird little crossover that actually had surprisingly solid music. Most of it consists of remixes of classic Mario themes, but they're done with enough energy to feel fresh again. And my favorite track here is simply the title screen theme. It's short, but it does exactly what it needs to do. It gets you in the mood to play this game, it takes familiar melodies and gives them a slightly modern puzzle game twist that fits the tone perfectly. It's the kind of track that makes you realize that even though the soundtrack isn't going to be filled with too many new tracks, it's still a joy to listen to. And I'm just going to go with one honorable mention here, and it's the Super Mario World Ground Theme remix. Now, continuing through the dark ages of Mario RPGs, we have Paper Jam. On paper, no pun intended, this concept sounds amazing. Crossover between Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. Just 2 series with totally different vibes, like obviously gameplay, story, characters, but also musically. Something that upsets me is that while the soundtrack is still good here, it didn't really take too much inspiration from Paper Mario. Like, this is very much just Mario and Luigi. So again, it's not a bad thing, but I would have loved to have more classic Paper Mario tracks here. And for the 3rd Mario and Luigi game in a row, I'm going with the final battle theme as the best track. There's just something about how intense and triumphant it feels that makes it the perfect capstone for the whole game. It has that signature Mario and Luigi rhythm, just a mix of playfulness and urgency. It is a little grander than usual. Like, you can still tell that how much effort was put into this, even if the story itself of this game wasn't as epic as this music led on to be. I was actually really surprised when I got to this fight and realized just how great this track is. But honestly, I shouldn't have been after hearing the final battle theme in all the previous Mario and Luigi games. And I'm going to go with one honorable mention here as well, and that's going to be Whispered Secrets. Now, another game that got a lot of mixed reactions, Color Splash took the controversial direction Sticker Star started, but regardless of how people feel about the gameplay, it's not my favorite. I think most would agree the soundtrack is actually amazing here. Intelligent Systems really leaned into a more jazzy, playful tone, and it gave the whole game a unique identity. Like, I just love the pseudo ragtime kind of feel of this game. Like, it has like a little bit of a jazzy feel to it. And I always love when video games do this. Like, Mario 3D World's one of my favorite soundtracks because of this. And besides the tunes that sound more ragtime, there's also just a lot of great peaceful tracks here. So I'm gonna go with Cherry Lake. Just smooth, relaxing, and just fits the area so perfectly. The visuals here, the water, and just the laid-back tune really made up this level. It's not trying to be epic or emotional, it's just pleasant. The kind of song that makes you smile without even realizing it. And I hope we get to hear this, because I don't think this is ever returned. I don't think any tune from this game is returned, and honestly, that's really sad, because this game has, I think, the most underrated soundtrack in the series. Like, people don't give it enough attention. And for honorable mentions, start with Ruddy Road, Fight, staff credits, and the main theme, the ragtime version. Of course, I had to include that. When this game was first announced, almost everyone laughed. Mario teaming up with the Rabbids in a strategy RPG sounded ridiculous, but then the game actually came out, and it turned out to be not just good, but in a lot of people's eyes, a great game. One of the biggest surprises of all was the soundtrack composed by Grant Kirkhope, who you probably know behind Banjo-Kazooie, among other legendary 3D platformers. My favorite track here is the Swamp Battle. It's just classic Kirkhope, like quirky, melodic, and just a little dark. It perfectly captures the strange, eerie atmosphere of those murky levels while still being ridiculously catchy. There's something about how he writes melodies that make you want to hum along even in the middle of a fight. The soundtrack as a whole manages to feel like both Mario and Banjo-Kazooie at the same time, which shouldn't even be possible, but that's kind of just what Kirkhope does. And for honorable mentions, I'm gonna go with Bowser Bows Out. Now, another game I have mixed feelings about that a lot of people do like. Origami King has beautiful visuals, clever writing, and it definitely improves on the previous two games. But we're not talking about the game itself, we're talking about the soundtrack, and it's actually phenomenal. Like, I don't think it's as underrated as something like Color Splash because people talk about it. And I didn't even realize it playing it the first time. Like, I remember seeing this YouTube video where there's a bunch of different musicians just playing pieces from this game, and it actually blew me away how many great pieces there are in this game. I highly recommend you watch that video. But as for my favorite, I'm gonna go with the title theme. It's just gorgeous, calm, emotional, and it feels like it's part of a grand adventure. Now, this is not really a game I feel like I need to replay. It's not my favorite game, like I mentioned, but sometimes I just want to boot it up just to hear the title theme. Like, it's one of the best in the series, like, you just can't go wrong with it. And now just choosing a few honorable mentions. Toad Town, Streamer Battle, and Shogun Studios. The first Mario plus Rabbids already had an amazing soundtrack, but Sparks of Hope somehow managed to top it. This time the developers brought in not just Grant Kirkhope again, but also Gareth Coker, who you may know from Ori and the Blind Forest. Oh, and you know what? That's not it. Yoko Shimomura is here also, because why not? Like, this is basically the Avengers of video game composers. My favorite track here is For the Galaxy. Just stunning song, just very emotional, and has that feeling of cosmic wonder that makes you feel like you're part of something bigger. Perfectly captures the tone of the sequel. It's still fun and silly, but there's a sense of awe that you may not expect from a game like this. It kind of has that same magic quality that Mario Galaxy soundtrack had, like you're floating through space, but with that familiar Mario theme. And for an honorable mention, Battle of Beacon Beach. And finally, we're at the most recent game, Mario and Luigi Brothership. After years of uncertainty, the series finally returned, and Yoko Shimomura is not back for Brothership, so this is the first game in the series to not have her, but it still is a very good soundtrack. My favorite here is Twisty Island. I just love how this sounds. I say this in like every music video, but I play the sax and I love how it has that sax sound to it. It's just such a fun song. Like, you can't listen to this and just not want to dance to it. Like, I think I took longer when I was at this part of the game just to listen to it more. It doesn't have the same vibe as the previous Mario & Luigi games, but that doesn't mean it's bad at all. It's proof that even with another composer, the series can still be special with its soundtrack. And for an honorable mention, go with Jellyfish Island. And that's the list. I know that there may be some controversial picks on here. It's just solely based on my favorite from each game. There's so many great tracks throughout this entire series, like you can't really go wrong with most of them. And you may be here from my video about the worst song in every Mario game. You may be asking if I'm going to do that for Mario RPGs, and as long as this video does well, I will. It's just going to be a super difficult task because literally every single soundtrack here is amazing. And needing to choose a worst is going to be extremely difficult, so if you all want to see that, I'll make it, but just don't be surprised if I have some controversial opinions. So if you made it to this part of the video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe if you're not already. It just really helps me out. And consider joining my Discord and becoming a channel member for just a couple bucks a month. Thank you for watching Domainy, and I'll see you next time.